does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity?
The temperatures are rising, and it's time to get your equipment ready for the season. Landmark Implement has high-quality used John Deere planters, sprayers, and tractors, priced to move and ready to work for you. Take advantage of unbeatable deals and flexible financing to upgrade your operation without stretching your budget. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or browse our full inventory online at landmarkimp.com. Before these deals are done, experience the Landmark difference.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Hey, Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac nachos and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's nebcoinc.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in to Ticket Weeknights. Harrison Arens on the ones and twos. As always, we have no Lincoln Stars tonight, as you can imagine, as they're in the middle of USHL playoffs. They got the bye in the first round, and they swept the second round. So we'll know tonight when those next playoff games are going to be, I should say, at the conclusion of tonight's USHL playoff games. And again, we'll be carrying, at least for certainly all the home games, at the Icebox right here on 93.7 The Ticket. So apologies for anybody who's looking for Lincoln Stars content tonight, but as you can imagine, Joel Norman, Rocky Russo, and the players, they got their hands full trying to bring home the cup back here to Lincoln. And it's been an awesome season for those guys. For those that have been tuning in on Tuesdays, they did go ahead and clutch the regular season title. They won the Anderson Cup. They got the all-time winning record in Lincoln Stars history as well. So it's just been a really great year to be a Lincoln Stars fan, and we'll continue to watch them as hopefully they can bring home a Clark Cup. Like I said, bring it back to Lincoln, Nebraska. So we'll keep you in the loop. If those guys are available for some shows, we will certainly bring them in on it. But since it is just me in studio and we're going to go solo up for this entire hour, you guys are welcome to join in. Despite we got Royals on the brick and mortar, you can still use that Sergeant Heyman text line 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. Facebook, YouTube, X, Owl Channel 961, all great ways to put a face to the voice. So we got plenty more comments. Matt Rhule, he had his press conference today, April 22nd. Got that audio cut up. We'll go through some of these quotes here and just kind of see where we're at. We got some good notes on the Husker games. Again, I know it's a little bit of letdown for people, and I said this last night, so apologies if you heard it before. But I just encourage anybody who's got a little bit of a sour feeling towards the Husker games, try to get yourself out of that mood and enjoy it. It's not a fun thing. It's good, though, that they're making something out of it, right? Because the reality is we could have no spring game at all, and it's just, sorry, fans. I know you have this awesome sellout streak. I know the spring game is one of the most impressive ones across the country, but it's no longer worth our time to do it because we heard Matt Rhule's explanation, especially with NIL today, right? You have the spring game, you get some good film on your players, the portal opens up, and all of a sudden, you're kind of in a tight spot. So I get what Matt Rhule's saying. You can go both ways on it, but the matter of reality is he is still doing something to provide entertainment, and it's not just a football program. Again, I mean, you know, you're going to have volleyball. They got Kansas later that day. You got soccer as well. I believe they're doing they are doing a flag football scrimmage before the kickoff between Midland and the UNL club flag football team. So there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of new faces I think fans will get to see, right? Because, soccer in particular, when they had just a really good run, they made it to the playoffs. They lost to, I believe it was Stanford, a really good team. Nebraska had the best goal scorer in the country, leading goal scorer in the country in Dale, and they just couldn't get it done. But it was still an incredible season, and I think that opened up some people's eyes to what was brewing in some of those women's sports, in particular with soccer. So if you're curious, it's a good way to go out there. It's a spring game. It's going to be a full day event. I'd imagine a lot of people got their slate open for it, and you can start from sun up to sundown and just enjoy a lot of Husker activities. And I do think the big one, which shouldn't be too surprising, is they are going to have that, call it a garage sale, what you will, an equipment sale at that Hawks indoor facility. And it's going to be cool. I mean, you can get a bunch of stuff on there. I use it all the time. And me personally, you see some of the coaches, some of the players wearing some merchandise, and you wonder, where can I get my hands on that? Maybe that'll be an opportunity to do so. As well as we got some of our own skin in the Husker games. Jay Foreman, he's going to be coaching the Legends. And then you got Will Compton coaching the Stars. We do have some audio on Rhule, not on Jay Foreman and Will Compton, but just on, who's all going to be participating in that game. And as you can imagine, it's obviously not going to be the starters, but you're going to see a good mix of even some second stringers in there. And I'll pull up the audio for it as soon as I can find it here in my many files here that we got from the press conference. There's a longer written one, and we'll do our best to get through the entire thing. But here's Matt Rhule just on who's going to participate in this Husker game scrimmage that is going to be taking place Saturday.
I wanted to be able to take, basically most of the 2s and 3s, they take the older guys out, but have all the 2s. I mean, there's a lot of guys who are going to play on Saturday. They're going to play for a lot for us this year. And, play it, kind of, I like to get about 60 plays if I could, on Saturday. So I want to play. I mean, I think we have some young quarterbacks I really need to see. Well, I think they deserve a chance to play in the spotlight. Now we've had a couple late, soft tissue things, at some receiver spots. So, we might be on the triple out there on Saturday, running the ball downhill. But no, I think it's going to be fun. I think we're gonna play. Like I said, maybe play, not 15 play quarters, but get about 15 plays each quarter. Give those guys a chance to go rest. Bring out the the next Husker game type deal. Let those guys compete. Then go back to the next quarter. So to me, it's kind of like competition quarter, that type of a deal.
So you have it. A little bit surprising. I didn't think, you would have that many guys, but second stringer is going to be in there as well. He points out, there's going to be guys that go play on Saturdays that we will see in that scrimmage. So it's not going to be necessarily a bunch of guys that we're saying goodbye to that are being cut. It's not necessarily a bunch of guys that won't see the field at all. Yes, some of those guys are certainly involved, but you're going to get some second stringers. It's more about the veterans, the older guys that have had their fair share of spring ball, fair share of off-season workouts that they're a little more comfortable with, putting the brakes on them, making sure they get their rest, getting ready for the season. But some of those other guys that, yes, they may show up on Saturdays, they're going to have more limited reps, so you feel pretty comfortable putting them out there in that spring game. And I'm just incredibly intrigued. I'm intrigued by how, maybe chippy is not the right word, but competitive this is going to be, because I think the thing most fans want is they don't want a lackadaisical scrimmage. One of those things, if you're going to scrimmage, just scrimmage. If you're going to, kind of half it out there, as we see and what has become the NFL pro game, which you got millions of dollars on those guys, make a little bit more sense. But, now we're starting to get millions of dollars on these college athletes as well. So this is a good way to still have that competitive energy because you're not necessarily risking injury or poaching, if whatever you want to call it, potential transfers. When another school calls and offers a bunch more money, you got a bunch of younger guys in there that they're going to get a shot. And I think it's a cool way to do it. I think it'll be competitive as a result of that. Certainly when you got a guy like Jay Foreman, who, if you've heard him on Old School or any of the ticket, he's a pretty fiery guy, especially when it comes to Husker football and what it means to win. And if you heard Will Compton, also a very fiery guy. So if those two are the captains, I have a pretty good feeling that they're going to do well to inspire those guys to go out there and play hard, if that is the plan. And from what everything sounds like, Matt Rhule wants to see a game as well. There's going to be those competitions in between each quarter, starting with, right before kickoff, you're going to have some sort of special teams competition. But when you listen to Matt Rhule and the way he talks about this Husker games, it sounds like he does want this to be a pretty live action game out there. It doesn't want to feel just completely like a practice. Now, there are some interesting things he mentioned. Wide receivers, not necessarily big time injuries, but some soft tissue injuries. So that might be an area where they're a little weak. He mentioned out there, we might be running some triple option, just some, heavy running plays to deal with that. But they're going to do what they can to participate and really have some live action football. So pretty excited about that. We're also going to see some QBs out there. Obviously, when it comes to a guy like Dylan Raiola, he does put out there that he is not going to be out there. He'll be in some of those competitions. But guys like TJ Lateef, Gramstad, those are the guys that sounds like they're going to be getting reps. And we got Steve Sipple, one of the Tickets on Personality. Quick answer here, but just on what quarterbacks we might see.
How many quarterbacks might we see on Saturday? Is it just
Probably 4. Yeah, Dylan and Jalen will do like the skills challenge stuff. They'll compete in the skills challenge stuff, and then Lateef and the other guys, Davila, Bodie, and Longville, they'll play the game.
So yeah, happen. And apologies, it's like Gramstead be in that competition, or excuse me, in the scrimmage. He'll be in the competition with Raiola, not in the actual scrimmages itself. And then you got all the other guys that you're going to be seeing out there, and actually some live competition for that scrimmage. So you kind of gives you an answer too on where Gramstad's at. I know we got closer and closer to it in some of his earlier press conferences on where that QB2 spot was looking like. And Gramstad seems to be one of those guys that's pulling away with it. And you have it right there, spring ball. He's going to be that other guy in that competition, not necessarily in the scrimmage. So you'll still get to see Dylan Raiola throw the ball along with Gramstad if that's what you're looking for. Just won't necessarily be in that live action. And I think that's, a little bit disappointing, but again, you understand why. And before we talk more about Dylan Raiola, as we're just talking to these quarterbacks, we got more audio and just on where that quarterback room's at. You feel good with Raiola. I think that QB spot, the QB2 spot, was a little bit of a question mark for most fans. I mean, we've seen it here and we've seen it at multiple universities. When your starting QB goes out or it has to get out with an injury, if you do not have any sort of contingency plan, any QB2 that you are fully confident in, that can run the plays that you want to play, or even have a separate package set up for them, if they get into that situation, it becomes a really brutal stretch. And it almost is confidence killing to whichever quarterback you slide in there. If you're not fully prepared or you don't fully trust them, you're really just putting them out there hoping for the best and hoping their confidence doesn't dwindle. So we do go with Matt Rhule just on where he's at with the confidence in that quarterback room behind Dylan Raiola.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a guy in the locker room that wouldn't follow Jalen Gramstad into battle and believe that he can get it done for us. He's getting a lot of reps. He's done a really nice job. The other guys have worked hard. TJ, I think it's important for TJ to get some opportunities on Saturday. I like his competitive fire. I like his intelligence. I like his athleticism. He throws a really accurate ball. Catchable. He knows where to go with it. I think it's important that he gets those reps. I think Marcos and the other guys, they need to get out there and play. So I think they've all, we've got a lot of quarterbacks, so we've had to spread the reps around. We've given Dylan a ton because, he's going into a second spring. He needs the reps. But I think we feel really good about that second spot.
So you have it again. Maybe it's some coach speak, but so far with Matt Rhule, it seems to be pretty genuine throughout these press conferences. Outside of, maybe year 2, you could argue you hype the team up a little bit too much at times, and maybe that led to some disappointment. But at least from him, sounds like he's got some confidence. And again, there's that Gramstad again, seems to be really pulling away in that room and has the trust of the guys who may have to go out there behind him. If said something does happen for Rhule, even if it's just for a play, sounds like they feel good about putting Gramstad in there, which is a great place to be. Again, I can't emphasize enough how many seasons go awry, not just here at Nebraska, but any university. If you don't have that QB spot, figure it out. And I won't mention names. You can figure out which QBs haven't worked out here in other universities. It becomes a disaster. It becomes a painful season, not only for the fans, not only for the coaches, but also for that QB's confidence in itself. So it's good to hear, at least for now. I know it's off season. You don't want to try to chug the Kool-Aid, but there is some confidence building in that QB2 spot. And, we've seen that before, even with Adrian Martinez, a guy who you loved out there, but he was battling just so beat up and hurt towards the end of his career. I mean, the broken jaw, having it wired shut. The guy looked like he was going through agony towards the end of his Husker football career. And even if it's one of those things where he doesn't have to come out and have to go through season-ending injury, just to have a game or at least a half when you feel like you're pulled away playing up ahead, to pull him out, knowing that he's a little bit beat up and any second of rest he can get, you're willing to give it to him. We just never had that option. Certainly just with the level of competition Nebraska football was at that point. We were fighting tooth and nail. When I say we, obviously I'm not part of the university, but they, the players, the coaching, the University of Nebraska was clawing tooth and nail to do anything to get into a bowl game situation. And that little bit of desperation, I think, certainly hurt Adrian Martinez, and you credit him a lot for it. But it's also the matter of, I don't think they had a whole lot of trust in that secondary QB. And when you don't have that trust there, it becomes a hard decision. Do you put the battered QB back in, or do you risk putting in the backup QB who, if he's not ready, you might really destroy his confidence and just, where he sits in the depth chart. If he goes out there and he gets the shakes because he's just not ready, you didn't make a good enough plan for him, you weren't prepared for a situation like that, becomes a nightmare of the situation for everybody involved, QBs, coaches, fans alike. The only body that wins is the opposing team in those situations. So again, it's a little bit of coach speak. Maybe it's not coach speak. We'll have to wait until Saturday, and a Saturday where maybe he does have to get into the game to find out how true that all really is. But it's good to hear not just his name brought up once, twice, but multiple times now. He keeps being asserted as that QB2. And you just like to hear that. That's a guy who right now at this point in the season, he knows that if Dylan Rhule goes down, he's got to be ready. And the coaches know that, and the rest of the players know that as well. So he's going to have that good communication, or at least you'd hope so, right? If that's the plan for him. With that being said, though, that's it on the backup QBs. Let's hear a little bit on just where Rhule has improved. Matt Rhule was pretty, high on Rhule's progress so far. And maybe it's not so surprising, right? He was a true freshman last year. He looked like it at times. There were some certain games where he might be frustrated with the read he made, but at the end of the day, he looked like a true freshman. The biggest part of that for me was just his pocket presence. That clock was still counting down like a high school clock at times, where you got to figure out, especially when the college ball speeds up, and then once you get to the NFL, it really speeds up. You got a limited amount of time. And it doesn't mean that you got to get rid of the ball every time in those 2 seconds, but it means you got to do something other than sit there, force a ball, or take a sack. And he saw that a little bit. Ohio State game was probably his best, especially in that second half of using and utilizing his legs. Wait a little bit. Nothing's there. You don't want to try to scramble and take a rough hit, especially for a guy like Dylan Rhule. That's not really his game. But if the pocket opens up and you feel the pressure, just get up, get out, and move. Even if it's not a big gain, even if you just get back to the line of scrimmage, you save yourself a sack, or worst case scenario, you're trying to throw it out of bounds and you take a worse hit because you didn't see it coming, and then the ball's on the ground and you have a turnover instead. So I think just having that clock there is the biggest thing for him. But we'll hear from this audio. And again, all this audio courtesy of Husker Online. As for this audio is from those guys, get all those press conferences. So that's where it's coming from as we presented here on 93.7 The Ticket. But here's Matt Rhule just on the improvement of Dylan Rhule heading into year 2.
Everything. I mean, Dylan's he's 10 steps ahead of where he was, and where he was pretty cool. Even like a day-to-day when there's no pads and you're doing all these 2 minutes, the defensive line can knock down the line. There's no pads in the pockets, and his movement in the pocket, I think, is excellent. His ability to play the next play and move on, his checks, his knowing what he's seeing coverage wise. Like I said, we're playing a lot different coverages, and maybe we've added some more coverages. And so I think he's able to get through all the coverages. And I've really enjoyed watching him coach the other quarterbacks while they're out there. Right. So, Glenn's over there with the other quarterbacks, kind of getting them to play, going through the reads and all that. And then whether it's Jalen or TJ, they're behind, and he's, Dylan's back there, and he's reminding him of things. Or, we had a weird situation, 2-minute situation today, and he got in the huddle for the first group. They got in the huddle for the second group. He's like, hey, 12 seconds. We have 3 timeouts. Catch the ball. So I think just the situational awareness, I think he's doing all of those things at a really, really high level.
So there you have it. The biggest thing for me, obviously, I just went on a little bit of rant there, but I was talking about the pocket presence. That's one thing. That was one of the first things he rips off right off the bat is his pocket presence. I'll replay just that little bit of audio right there. And that stuff's the music to my ears, just on his pocket presence.
And you're doing all these 2 minutes, like, the defensive line can knock down the line. There's no pads, so the pockets and his movement in the pocket, I think, is excellent.
So there you have it. A little bit short there, but his movement in the pocket is excellent. We'll see what that looks like on Saturday. Always a little bit different in practice, especially when you're going to get used to your defensive teammates and how they like to rush and where they're typically coming from. But you also heard they're adding some different schemes in there. And to me, certainly one of the bright spots when you look at Dylan Rhule, again, caveat, true freshman, but that's what makes it impressive as well, is he does have a pretty good understanding of the game. And you saw it even when his true freshman making some really good checks at times when he didn't like what he was seeing and just, had to make a call right then and there. Once the clock's gone, and especially in situations where you're playing in hostile environments, you're going to need a smart QB that's able to identify things, because it's going to be hard to hear some of those stadiums in those intercoms. And I know it doesn't happen after a certain period of time, but even beforehand, I mean, that stuff just gets brutal. So when you have a high IQ QB who, when things get tough and you can't necessarily hear the call from the coach, things are getting chaotic, you're in a 2-minute drill, you have a QB who's got that IQ with him, and you're also hearing he's doing what sounds like he's doing his best to also lift up the other guys behind him. So again, it kind of circles back to that QB2 situation where there's a lot of years you didn't feel good there. This is a year where if Dylan Rhule stays healthy, you are absolutely pleased about it. But also, not only is he elevating his game, sounds like he's doing what he can to elevate everyone else around him. And that's what you need, because even if it doesn't directly help Dylan Rhule, it certainly indirectly helps him, right? You win a lot more games if your defense is good. And those backup QBs are going up against that same defense that Dylan Rhule is going against. Sure, sometimes he may be going against the 1s, then the 2s, then the 3s, but you're getting a good mix. And the better that offense gets, the better that defense gets. So again, you're just trying to stay off the Kool-Aid, but you're just hearing more and more from Rhule. And it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, and it's nothing but gravy if you win a bunch of games this year. But we've seen what November looks like. And if we get a little bit of turmoil, once we get into the meat of Big Ten play, that's where these quotes and this audio from preseason really starts to hurt. But as of right now, he finally broke us out of our bowl game slump. You got a 5-star quarterback in Dylan Rhule who chose to stay despite, to me, it was a win getting bowling, getting it off the back. Some people, especially when you have the caliber of a guy like Dylan Rhule, might consider that a failure. I think most of those people are probably on the outside looking in, not necessarily big Nebraska football fans. But again, you feels like this program continues to take steps in the right direction. And if you just look at Matt Rhule's track record, year 3 is always that turning year. And everything he's been saying in these press conferences just kind of keeps not even hinting at it, but he just hear the confidence, and at least in my opinion, on what he's seeing on the field. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and throw it to our first break here, but we got some more audio, and we'll talk a little bit just on his confidence with this team. So don't go anywhere. Harrison Arns going solo, Ticket Weeknights. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Spring has arrived, the temperatures are rising, and it's time to get your equipment ready for the season. Landmark Implement has high-quality used John Deere planters, sprayers, and tractors, priced to move and ready to work for you. Take advantage of unbeatable deals and flexible financing to upgrade your operation without stretching your budget. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or browse our full inventory online at landmarkimp.com. Before these deals are done, experience the Landmark difference.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac nachos and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's nebcoinc.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in Ticket Weeknights. Once again, going solo. Harrison Arn in studio. You guys can always join in. We do got Royals on the brick and mortar. And while I'm at it, I'll give you guys a quick score update on how Royals baseball is faring. But in the meantime, you can still join via the Starter Heeman text line, 402-464-5685. That is the way to join the show. You can also join via any of the streams. And yet to start the first inning here, that is a 6:40 start. So I guess you're just getting pregame right now. But 6:40, Royals got the Colorado Rockies. Royals 9-14, Rockies. Rocky start to the beginning of the MLB season as they sit 4-17. So I know I got plenty of Royals fans in the area. I'm sure they'll be rooting for Royals. Another win tonight. And again, looking at the team that are facing and they're at home, seems likely that the Royals should be able to pull off a win. With that being said, let's dive back into Husker football. The biggest thing for me with Husker football, and again, I mentioned it in that first segment, is just there is some serious pressure building with this year. And you want this year to take off because And then the track record stays there. The confidence and role in the staff stays there. And yes, I'm obviously talking about fans, but also players. You want to see that Nebraska football have that continued trajectory. So players, if they are, that playoff caliber player, that they can get an offer from Georgia, they can get an offer, from a school like even Tennessee. Hell, you can throw Indiana out there as they went to the playoffs. Even though I don't think they have quite the NIL funds they do, but Ohio State and Oregon, right? The big dogs that you think of that you're competing with at Nebraska. Matt Rhule continues to have this track record. You have these good players. And again, we're going to have some faces in the NFL this year. Really a good chance to have one of the best representing classes of Huskers in the NFL that we've had in a long time. So it just adds to the credibility of Matt Rhule. So when he's talking to players, selling them on the University of Nebraska, he can say, look, here's the track record. If you look at it, it just gets better and better and better. Unlike some of the other coaches who, you can throw Frost in there, and we'll get to Matt Rhule actually crediting Frost. Tough for him, and it wasn't all his fault, right? That COVID year was brutal. And you can make the argument every single coach had to deal with COVID. The difference is I think when you're a program like Nebraska at that point in time, when you're clawing and scratching just to be bowl eligible, let alone go make the college football playoffs, it's very hard to reload. And if you're a Michigan, if you're an Ohio State, again, as you're an Oregon, as I mentioned before, after COVID, you still held that identity of being an absolute powerhouse of school. So it's easy to kind of reset, reload. Scott Frost at that point in time, he had some guys on the squad, some really, really good players, in fact. And we're going to talk about those guys because those guys, whatever you thought about Scott Frost, the guys that we're talking about that are going to be making the NFL debut, those are guys that Frost recruited. And Rhule talks about that as well. So we'll quick, plug that in here. But he does, he gives credit for he embraced him. Rhule did when he got here. But of course, Scott Frost, he saw that talent in there. And it's due to kind of give him his own shout out because COVID, I'll never disagree that I think when you're a smaller school and you're just trying to find, some consistent winning, having a year of COVID, the season get cut short like that, trying to figure out recruiting when you can't even go see kids because of all these rules. Nebraska just sinks off the list because at that point in time, players are probably just going to go with the surefire bet because they're not going to get a whole lot of availability to see what they're really looking at outside of some tape within their own home address, not really able to go out there and visit the university. So it was a really tough hurdle for Scott Frost, and I think it hurt him dearly. But early on, especially with some of those recruiting classes, you got some really good players. And here's Matt Rhule talking about some of those guys who are going to get NFL opportunities.
Well, I think it's very important to say that most of those guys were brought here by Scott Frost and his staff. Okay. So I think that's very, very important to say. And his strength staff and all those people that were here. So, Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmacher, Isaac Gifford, those guys were brought here. Fedoni, those guys were brought here under that staff, So I know the impact like Coach Becton had on Thomas, just the relationship that he had. So I think that's important to say.
And again, I think it's honorable thing for Matt Rhule to do. Credit Frost, especially for a guy who probably not held in the best limelight, at least in terms of his coaching career here at Nebraska anymore. Matt Rhule's always had that philosophy. He said it year one when he got here. He's responsible for all the losses at Nebraska before he was even there because that is his guys now. That is his university. He represents Nebraska, the past and the present. And he took that approach, and I think it helped him a lot. Whatever you want to say about Scott Frost in the years there, you could make sense of Rhule just wanting to clear house when he got to the University of Nebraska, just being, guys, for your best interest, just the state of this program and where it's been, I need a clean slate. I'm going to encourage a lot of you guys to hit the portal. Maybe I'll encourage some of you guys to stay. But Matt Rhule's approach, if you want to stay here, I'm happy to have you because this is a university you signed up to play for. And I think that held a lot of weight. And it lets those guys, like the Ty Robinson, like the Fedoni, like the Juergens, those guys get legit opportunities to go out there and play because they stuck with the program. They went through the turmoil despite the coaching changes, but the loyalty to Matt Rhule and Matt Rhule's loyalty to them paid off because now you're going to have an opportunity to get some good Husker football representation in the league. And that stuff, the more Huskers you can get in there, especially the Huskers that act like pros as soon as they're drafted, that adds a lot of weight to the University of Nebraska. And then it becomes one of those schools that when NFL scouts are looking for guys, they can look at the University of Nebraska and again, find polished players that know how to work. And we do got some more details on that. Matt Rhule, again, just talking about wanting to make sure that his guys are pro ready, and that's the real big deal that he wants for his guys that are entering the league. Not only because it'll improve your draft stock a lot, but it just helps the university when the guys that they go to league, they're pro ready, and NFL organizations know if you get a player from Nebraska, I know they're coached the right way. So here's Matt Rhule, just his philosophy on how he wants guys to be when they are entering for the NFL draft or leaving college football.
You guys know how I feel about Ty, Nash. I mean, Giff, I think Giff really helped himself at Pro Day. And then guys have come in like MJ Sherman, like whoever gets MJ, they're going to love him. They're going to appreciate him. Tommy's, still battling back from the foot, but Tommy will be somewhere. And Jamal Banks, Isaiah Nayor, like I would absolutely take chances. Johnny Bullock. So I'm probably forgetting a guy or two, and I don't mean to, but Ramir Johnson to me would give people a run for their money, man. So I think it's just a great group. It's hard to find a lineman. Ben Scott had a great pro day. Bryce Benhart's had a storied career. He knows how to practice. So I hope the guys get drafted. I always send them a note. Hey, this is just the beginning. And what we need, going back to what I said before, is when the guys get there that they're pros, they know how to do things, and then people start saying, hey, go get a guy from Nebraska. Like if you get a guy from Nebraska, they know how to practice. They're going to be X, Y, and Z. And then, 4 guys drafted or 6 drafted becomes 8, becomes 10, becomes 12, and then, they know that when they get someone that they hang around. So Phelan Sanford heading up to Saskatchewan right now, right? He was to the Raiders through 8 games. Now he's going up to Canada to play. We just need our guys going to the next level, building a reputation for what it means to be a Husker, what it means to be a Husker at that level. And that will beget more people coming here. And if I forgot anybody's names that, for the seniors, I apologize. But guys should take a chance on our guys. Guys should take a chance on Bushini. He punted in this wind, in this environment here. They should absolutely give him an opportunity and see what our guys do.
So no surprises in some of the conversation there, right? Supporting his own guys, but again, the part in the middle to me is the most intriguing. And it's an area of emphasis that, again, if you want that NFL representation, that's one of the easiest things you can do as a player. It's easy to say that talking from here in this cozy seat, behind a microphone where I'm not out there doing the drills, doing the film study, breaking down hours and hours. But you get the guys that know how to operate like a pro already, before they're even in the league. That goes a long way. It cuts time from NFL scouts, coaches, having to coach guys up. They can just get them. They know how to study. Here's the tape. Here's the film. This is what you need to know. You're a pro. Break it down. Get yourself ready. And that goes a long way. So I think Matt Rhule's absolutely right with that philosophy. I think, any school would be a fool not to kind of have that philosophy, but there is some real importance there. When you look at this entire staff that Matt Rhule has put together, there is a lot of pro guys on this staff that have been around the league that have an understanding, you'd imagine, of what these teams are looking like. Matt Rhule, obviously the head coach of the Carolina Panthers at one point in time. You can argue about his record, but give me any coach, put him in Carolina. It's tough sledding, at least with the current players and staff and ownership that's over there. So I don't even like to hold Matt Rhule too much against that. But it's good to see this good balance of a lot of pro guys, but also these coaches also got a lot of college experience as well. And that you had, a guy like Patrick Stewart in there to handle the GM side of things and just the evaluation. You're getting a very pro-look college football team. And I think that's Matt Rhule's biggest thing, to get the edge on college football. The easy example of why you want to get the edge, any sort of advantage, like you just look at Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule discovers, hey, strength and conditioning, weightlifting programs that really benefits the team's ability, especially in the trenches, to dominate ball games. It's hard to believe that nobody was really doing that back in the day, but it's an advantage that Osborne created. It wasn't an advantage that other schools knew about. No, he found it and he created it. Now, the same goes for this era of NIL. If you want to take your program to the next level, you have to find ways to innovate and be different until you get to the top. And once you're at the top, it's just defending the throne. The way Ohio State's been doing it in the Big Ten, how Oregon's been constantly, pretty consistently been a really good program who's now jockeying versus Ohio State in the Big Ten. But for a school like Nebraska, who does not have any sort of title, at least right now, we can talk about the 90s, but the current 5 years of Nebraska football, just being real, nobody really feared. Maybe they might even look forward to coming to Memorial Stadium because of the atmosphere, knowing that the team they're playing, win-loss record isn't very good. So you like to see just this approach from top to bottom and making sure that this team is going to have some sort of advantage. And I think the advantage that they're trying to create is an NFL style like program where Matt Rhule, he talks about it. He's not talking to the guys about the NIL. He's not talking to the guys, about sponsorships and stuff like that. He's talking to the guys about football and where they're at on the depth chart. And that's it. He leaves the money, the details, the NIL to other guys on the staff that are doing, like obviously Patrick Stewart of the staff, the GMs, do that evaluation with the guys and let them know, hey, this is what the market says your value's at. This is what we can offer you. This is what some of the other schools are saying. It's good to have that separation, I think, especially in what has become the lawlessness that is college football. You need to separate these roles, especially the NIL and football side of things. If Matt Rhule has to be the NIL guy on top of the college football guy, you're going to run into a lot of uncomfortable conversations. V has to do both. You're also going to run into a bunch of lost time. I mean, it's just an insane amount of work that has to go into it. And with Stewart here, it's smart to get ahead of it. And I think this is him creating the advantage. We still don't know how this is going to shake out, but we do know, however it shakes out, we already have a guy in place that's keeping an eye on it, and keeping an eye on just everything. The court cases involved in it, that is Stewart, who's got a good feel on it from all his experience. Obviously, his last stop being with the Patriots, who's got a pulse on how these things work. And now you have a set roster as well with 105. You know what your NIL funds are going to be. He's in communications with the Ghost. That just takes so much off of Matt Rhule's plate that allows him to focus on college football. And again, I think it creates a unique advantage for Nebraska. Now, is it the unique advantage of strength and conditioning that Tom Osborne brought here that led Nebraska football to titles? Hopefully. I don't want to say it's impossible, as we just saw Indiana, Kurt Cignetti, year one, make the college football playoffs. But we can see crazy things happen. But again, anything you can do, create the slightest edge or a major advantage, that's going to push your program ahead. That's what's going to allow you to catch up to the Ohio States, to the Michigans, the Oregons, because they have the recruiting grounds. They're good programs. They send guys to the league. It's easy for those guys to get those players in. If you're in Nebraska, you're going to be in the cycle of always staying where you are because the recruits you're bringing in are going to be looking at your record. You see as a bottom tier Big Ten team, and that's the guys you're going to get year in, year out until you can create some sort of unique advantage that pushes you ahead, that allows you to recruit heavier, not because you got the best players on the field, but maybe you develop them to be better players. You develop them to work hard, schemes, everything in between, or you figured out the NIL operations before anyone else, and it's just a clean operation that players trust. That's the stuff that if you're a Nebraska football fan, you need to catch up to what are the juggernauts of college football right now. And Nebraska's still got some room to go. But again, year 3, Matt Rhule, that's the big question. How far can this team elevate its play from last year? Winning 7 games. Can they win 8? Can they win 9? If they win 10, Lincoln's throwing a party. I think it'll be great times there. But I think that's the real question. How much of an advantage is this creating with this more, we call it more pro style way of coaching a college team? I think it'll play a lot of dividends, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll talk some more Husker football on the other side of things. We got one more break. Like I said, Harrison Arns going solo all the way to the top of the hour, and we'll be joined by DeMorney Pierce-Snell at the 7 o'clock hour. So don't go anywhere. Take a Weeknights. Harrison Arns, talk to you in just a little bit.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing your family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Rose Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text the word HOME to 402-534-1919. That's HOME to 402-534-1919.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead. Sleep in. You deserve it. And choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK. Make flying easy.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's nebcoinc.com.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers. Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. A final segment. At least me going solo here. We'll be joined by Demarni Pearsonell, the former Husker, who may be involved in the Husker games as well, coming up this Saturday. Again, great special teams athlete, one of the best ones to do it. Really, the last great special teams player we've had here at University of Nebraska. Oh, I shouldn't say. We've had some pretty good kickers as well. But certainly one of the greats that you think of when you think of special teams and Nebraska, his name certainly comes up there, along with just a really good, consistent wide receiver for us as well. So he'll be on 7 o'clock, as always. And to wrap things up here on Husker football, you know, I mentioned a lot that this year 3, and it's kind of been my theme throughout the entire offseason, is just the pressure, but at the same time, there is a hope out there as well that, you know, I don't think it should be shunned or anything. I think the signs say it's looking good. It's looking promising. Unfortunately, this program and its fan base is just beaten over the head so many times that it's hard to even get excited to think about winning a bunch of games, especially when you think about November, you think about the middle of that Big Ten stretch, and it gets a little choppy. That being said, you know, everything you're hearing, unless it just lies at the podium, which I have a hard time believing, sounds like this team's going to be ready to have a good jump year 3. And I think the big question is, you know, what does success look like? Is winning one more game, you know, say you go to a bowl game, you know, not counting a bowl win, you know, is 6 regular season game wins enough? Probably not. Is 7 regular season game wins enough? You know, of course, I don't think Matt Rhule gets fired if it's only 7 wins, but fans are going to want more than 7. Especially, again, you look at Baylor, you look at Temple, you look at that year 3 jump, you hear everything in these press conferences. You know, you feel great about the QB2 room. You think Dylan Raiola is better in every category. He's taken 10 steps ahead. His pocket presence is much better. You like the way the defense has been clicking. You know, you got faith in Butler. So all this stuff sounds great until Saturday shows up and it doesn't look great. But I'm not here to say that it is going to look awesome or it's not going to look awesome. I'm just here providing what they are saying. And you know, if I give you my opinion, I'm optimistic about it, but I'd probably very similar to the rest of the Husker football fan base where I'm at a point where I got to see it to fully believe it, you know, and even if it doesn't work out great, doesn't mean I thought the coaches lied to me in these press conferences, just maybe they thought a little too highly of where they were actually at. I will say this though, and this will be a great spot to really wrap up on, is when you look at the schedule of Husker football, never want to circle wins before the season starts. But when you look at a team like Wisconsin's schedule and you look at a team like Nebraska's schedule, all of a sudden you feel a little bit better about Nebraska's chances to really break through and make a name for themselves, especially if that Dylan Raiola part. You know, we see it all the time. You go look across college football playoffs. What did all those teams have? Trenches, right? You need trenches in today's college football. Defense, offensive line. You got to be dominant there in those categories if you're going to have any hopes of not just making the college football playoffs, but progressing through and making it all the way to the finish and winning the damn thing. Is you got to be good in the trenches. And the other part, you need a QB. You know, if you don't have that QB situation figured out, it's just really tough to rely on your defense to carry a team that much. You know, you look at a team like Arizona State, you might say, well, Arizona State on paper, they don't have nearly as much talent as a team like Texas. That game goes down to the wire because Sam Leavitt was that guy. In that game, Sam Leavitt was the best player. He was phenomenal throughout the entire thing, and it gave Arizona State a genuine shot to upset Texas. Now, I know they got the bye, but again, that's where you can argue about how these are set up, if those teams really deserve buys, whatever. At the end of the day, you saw that their quarterback, Sam Leavitt, made a major difference. And if there's anybody else in that QB position that's not even, you know, 3/4 good as him, they're not in that game hardly at all. So it matters a lot. And that comment about Dylan Raiola being 10 steps ahead, being better in every category, gives you, again, some hope. It's got to be some well-founded hope. You don't want to just go full sail on it and think, I hear that Nebraska's easily going to win 10 games next year. You know, there's always the situation where if Dylan Raiola gets hurt, okay, now how do we feel about the win-loss total? But then you have him talking about Gramstead in that QB2 position and the confidence they have there. So it's off-season. We don't have to be negative. You're hearing a lot of great things in the press conferences, and, you know, we'll get to see some of this on Saturday. It won't be the starters, but you're going to see certainly a lot of second-string guys that will certainly get an opportunity to play on Saturday. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap up here on the other side. We will be joined by the Morning Pearson, as I said, for the Don't Punt Hour. We'll talk some more college football. We'll talk volleyball as well, as they got some news. And then, of course, some more NBA. So don't go anywhere. We'll keep taking weeknights rolling. Harrison Arens going solo, wrapping up here. The Morning Pearson up next.